Chaos on set. Caitríona Balfe reveals last-minute Season 8 switch that left cast shaken for years. She has been the calm at the center of the storm. The steady heartbeat of Outlander. The woman who brought Claire Fraser to life with poise, intelligence, and quiet strength. But behind the scenes of the final season, everything nearly fell apart. And now, in a jaw-dropping confession that has stunned fans and insiders alike, Caitríona Balfe has lifted the curtain on what she calls one of the most stressful moments in the show's history, a last-minute change so dramatic it forced the entire production into chaos. And it all came down to one thing, a creature that was never supposed to exist. The scene that was meant to shock Season 8 of Outlander, the final chapter of a global phenomenon, promised high drama, emotional farewells, and unforgettable moments. But one episode, ominously titled Prophecy, would push the cast and crew further than anyone expected. At the heart of it? A brutal animal attack at Fraser's Ridge, a moment designed to shock audiences and leave a lasting scar on the story. But according to Balfe, that scene was never meant to involve a bear. Not at first. It was supposed to be a puma, in a candid revelation during a London screening. 3 days before we shot it, it was a puma. She admitted. Balfe didn't hold back. Not a CGI beast. Yes, a puma. A real animal. Not a digital illusion. The plan, she explained, had been carefully constructed. Puma attacks behave differently. They ambush. They stalk. The entire sequence had been choreographed around that tension, that silent. It was precise. Creeping danger. It was ready. It was prepared. Until suddenly, it wasn't. The decision that changed everything just days before filming. Permits. Everything unraveled. Last-minute restrictions. Regulations. The kind of logistical nightmare that can derail even the most meticulously planned production. They didn't grant the license at the last minute, Balfe revealed. And just like that, the puma vanished. Gone. Replaced by something entirely different. One impossible task. 3 days. A bear. Imagine this, you've spent weeks planning a scene around a specific animal, its movements. Then, with barely 72 hours to go, you're told to throw it all away. Its behavior. And start again. Its rhythm. That was the reality facing Caitríona Balfe, not just as an actress, but as a first-time director. Because yes, in the middle of this chaos, she was also stepping behind the camera for the very first time. No pressure. Except for the fact that this was one of the most important episodes of the final season. And everything depended on it. From actress to director, under fire. Balfe had dreamed of directing for years. Since Season 3, in fact. It was a goal she had quietly nurtured, waiting for the right moment. Season 8 was supposed to be that moment. Instead, it became a trial by fire, a milestone, a triumph. Filming schedules clashed. Emotional scenes piled up. And just as she was balancing performance and direction, the animal at the center of her episode changed. I was acting all day Monday, she explained. Overnight. Filming with Sam Heughan and Richard Rankin on Tuesday. And by Friday, everything had changed. Everything. The desperate search for reality with no time left and no room for error. Balfe did something unexpected. She turned to the internet. Frantically researching real-life bear attacks. Observing movement. Studying footage. Trying to understand how a completely different predator behaves. Because a bear doesn't stalk like a puma. A bear overwhelms. A bear charges. A bear devastates. And the scene had to reflect that, convincingly, brutally, and emotionally. CGI, or something more? In the end, the production relied on CGI to bring the bear to life, a decision that could have easily backfired. But according to Balfe, the results were astonishing. The creature that ultimately appeared on screen, the one responsible for the tragic death of Amy Higgins, felt terrifyingly real. Because what viewers saw wasn't just an animal attack. Too real, some say. It was a moment born from chaos, pressure, and raw, unfiltered emotion. And perhaps that's why it worked. The final days. And a haunting goodbye, but the real shock came later. As filming for Outlander drew to a close, emotions reached a breaking point. Balfe describes the final day with Sam Heughan in almost surreal terms. "I don't even remember what we said," she confessed. Not because it wasn't important, but because it was too much. Too overwhelming. Too intense. "It felt like I left my body," she added. 7 versions of herself, she says. All processing. All watching. All struggling to comprehend the end of something that had defined her life for over a decade. When fiction becomes real as the cameras rolled on those final scenes, something unexpected happened. The lines between actor and character began to blur. Balfe revealed that her face began to twitch, involuntarily, uncontrollably. Emotions surged in ways she couldn't predict. "I didn't even know my face could do that," she admitted. Because in that moment, she wasn't just playing Claire Fraser. Feeling the weight of goodbye. She was Claire Fraser. The gravity of the journey. The end of an era. The twist no one saw coming, and here's the part that changes everything: that last-minute switch, from puma to bear, didn't just alter a scene. It transformed the entire emotional tone of the episode. The violence became heavier. The stakes. Undeniable. The loss more brutal. What was meant to be a calculated, suspenseful sequence became something far more chaotic. More real. More primal. And according to insiders, that raw unpredictability may have created one of the most powerful moments in Outlander history. But because of it. Not despite the chaos. A legacy forged in disorder as Outlander prepares to take its final bow. Fans will remember the romance. The time travel. The battles. But behind it all lies a truth rarely seen. Some of the most unforgettable moments are born when everything goes wrong. And for Caitríona Balfe, her directorial debut will forever be tied to a decision made at the last possible second. A decision that nearly broke the production, but ultimately made it legendary.